Hello, my name is Joanne Snow. I'm a Sage Intacct implementation consultant with Vision 33. Welcome to our Sage Intacct navigation video. Today we're going to discuss general navigation in Sage Intacct. We're going to talk about dashboards and drill down. We'll talk about favorites, bookmarks, and help and support. So our first topic will be dashboards. So when you initially log into Intacct, you're going to see a dashboard. You can create multiple versions of dashboards. The one that I'm looking at today is a controller dashboard. So we're seeing financial reports such as our balance sheet, our cash balance, our profit and loss summary. We're also seeing our customer aging and our vendor aging graph. So I wanted to demonstrate how we can drill down to our source document from a transaction on the dashboard. So for example, when we're looking at our balance sheet here, if I have some questions about these accounts receivable numbers, I can drill into the accounts receivable line item here on our balance sheet. That's going to drill me further into the balance sheet summary. I'm going to further drill into the accounts receivable numbers here. This brings me into the general ledger report level, the originating journal entry level, and now I'm going to go into the original invoice. So here's our originating source document, our accounts receivable invoice. We'll see our customer name is here. We'll see our invoice number, our terms, due date, currency. Then we see our line items down here. So the general ledger account that was selected when we did this original transaction, our transaction amount, any currency conversion, our dimensions. We can also reprint the invoice from this drill down as well. So I just wanted to demonstrate how we can drill into a source document from a dashboard. Next, we're going to talk about favorites. So over here on the left-hand side, we have our favorites. So we have a star here, similar to favorites in our browser. So if there's a particular item in our drop-down menu, or there are several tasks that we want to mark as a favorite, we can indicate those as a favorite from the drop-down menu here when we go in and look at our applications. Again, talking about navigation from our drop-down list here, we can go into our menu options, our modules, either by using the drop-down menu here, or we can use the overview menu. So by clicking on the drop-down menu, for accounts receivable, for example, we see all and we see a setup area. Depending on your security rights, you may or may not see the setup area. Or we have our all area. So here's one of the items that we've indicated here as a favorite. You can see that the star is highlighted in yellow here. So when I hover over an item, if I highlight it in yellow, if I click the star and it highlights in yellow, that means it's going to show up under my favorites area. As I mentioned, I can either use Intacct from the drop-down menu here, or I can use the overview menu. The overview, I can click on it from here, or I can double click on the name of the module. That will bring me into the overview screen. So the overview screen is a really nice graphical display of tasks and options in the module. So at the top, we see our data options here. So these are things, depending on the module, these are things like creating customers, terms, customer types. Then we have our tasks area down below. And again, depending on the module, this will change. For example, in accounts receivable, we create our invoices, we receive payments, we make deposits, we print and email our invoices or statements, we run some general standard reports, customer aging, sales register, tax reports. Then we close our accounts receivable. So this is how the overview screen looks. This is a great screen when you're onboarding new employees because of the graphical display from left to right showing you how to use the module. Next, we're going to talk about bookmarks. Up here on the right-hand side, we have our bookmarks here. So very similar to favorites, our bookmarks gives us the ability to bookmark a particular page. Again, it's just a shortcut to get to a particular area. So for example, if I wanted to bookmark a particular area of the system like printing and emailing invoices, I can go into that area. When I get to the screen that I want to bookmark, I click my bookmark item and I click bookmark this page. So I'm going to say this is, for example, if a customer calls to get an invoice reprint and I want to bookmark the print email invoices page, I can create my new bookmark. I'm going to call it customer invoice reprint. And that bookmarks this particular page that I'm on, which is the print and email invoices. Next, I wanted to talk about help and support. So up here in the right-hand corner, of the screen, you have some options here for help and support. So we have help on this page, and then we have our general help center. Help on this page is really useful, especially when you're learning the system. If you have particular questions about on the page that you're on, so if you have a question about a particular field or a checkbox, that sort of thing, you can always click help and support and help on this page. And that will launch the help for the screen that you're on. So for example, I was on the print and email invoices screen. So if I had questions about printing or emailing a single invoice, I can click on that. Gives me all the information about printing an invoice, emailing an invoice, that sort of thing. I can also click back here. If I had questions about particular fields on the screen, I can get my field by field descriptions here. Clicking on this list, every field that we see on the screen behind us is listed here with an explanation of what that screen is used for. Also in the help and support, we have our general help center. We have all of the information about release notes, new versions, training that you can take advantage of. But more importantly, up here in our applications drop-down list, we have our help center for each application. So if you had questions about accounts payable, you can go into each of these screens, accounts receivable, and there's a full overview and explanation on all of the items pertaining to that particular module. So that's our help and support. So just to recap, today, again, we talked about general navigation in Sage Intacct. We talked about dashboards and drill down. We talked about our drop down list versus our overview screen. We talked about favorites, bookmarks, and then our help and support. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.